Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Alex Abuyuan.
Woo! Wow, hey gang, how y'all doing? Welcome to the TWC Alliance Nation. We are so fired up and we are recharged, re-energized from the National Boot Camp, which was just off the chain, man. It was one of the best events that we've ever had. I had just been so inspired by the different talks. I mean, incredible. And for those of you that were blessed to be there, you know what I'm talking about. So Andy asked me to come out of the boot camp with the emphasis on recruiting and building. And, we've done, decent there. We could do better. So I'm humbled that he asked us. So we're going to give you our best. And our focus today will be for the new person primarily on what to do as a new person to recruit and build your agency. And I really want you to get our objective at the end of this is for you to feel confident that you've got a whole infrastructure of support of people that will help you with the people you bring on board your team, particularly the people that are in your warm market. Look, gang, I mean, I started with my warm market. I think when I think about the answer to the question, what would Alex today say to the Alex when he got started? And I said nothing. I wouldn't say anything. And the reason why I wouldn't say anything is because I did everything that we want our new people to do. I started selling right away, right? I started recruiting right away. I didn't hesitate on the recruiting and building because I saw that as my future. I mean, that was the part that I got so fired up about. And Andy knew me. Andy called me, right? And I often think, what if Andy didn't call me? It's one of those things that will change, that had changed my life in so many multiple ways. When Andy called me and said, hey, Bo, I think I found us something. And I said, what is it? He could have said anything at that point because Andy had a lot of credibility with me. I trusted Andy with, because we were in the Amway business together and we both had achieved the Ruby Direct level. And Ginny and I and Jane and Andy used to hang out in the Ruby pit during functions. And that's how we really got to know each other. And we were cross-line from each other. We had a common pearl that was in our upline. And when Andy called me, it was like, wow, I'm fired up, because Andy was the one that called me. He had a lot of credibility with me, and he could have said anything after that question about, hey, I think I found something. He could have said Mary Kay. He could have said Fuller brushes. He could have said anything, and I would have been fired up because I know Andy knows how to make money, and whatever he does, he turns to gold. So I said, yes. Okay, I'm wide open. What are we gonna do? And then after he showed me what we were doing, I said, I'm fired up. And I often say that I was the affirmative action recruit, because I was non-white, and I say that it was affirmative action because he affirmed that I could make money. And I said, I'm down, bro. I'm down. So I got jacked up. And then he asked me the ultimate question, hey, who else do you know that wants to make money? I said, all my friends that I hang out with that are broke like me, which included Patrick Connors and Noelle Levin-Talbich, who were working at the same recruiting company I was. And so the same question Andy asked me, I asked Patrick and Noelle, hey, you guys open to make some money? They said, yes, right? There are other people who said no, but I think my first group I brought in about 7 or 8 people. We just rocked it. I've made 8 figures of overrides over the last 25 years because I said to people that I knew on my list of names, hey, are you open and want to make some money with me? They said yes. And 25 years later, 8 figures of overrides later, and more that's to come, it was one of the best. That's why I said I wouldn't say anything to me. If I said something, I'd probably mess me up. because I did everything that we want our new people to do. I said, yes, I want to get in. I want to get a license. I said yes to, do I know other people that, might be open-minded to making some money? I said yes to that. Andy invited me to a getting started boot camp in Raleigh, North Carolina. I said yes to that. And I got all my people there with me. I think we had 35 people in a van, Patrick. I mean, that's how the myth has grown, but I think it was like 7 people in a van, and Noel and Patrick were in that van, and my other group that I started with. And then what did we hit? Like our second month, we hit 100,000 in submitted premium. Yeah. So our second month of the business, based on the team I put in, our second month, we did 100,000 submitted premium. And we didn't even know that was good or bad, did we? We thought that's what everyone does in the insurance business. It's only later that we found out that we were something special, but we just didn't know. It's almost like they didn't want to tell us that because they didn't want us to get the big head, and then we'd slow down, right? So we just didn't know we didn't know. We just did what they told us to do. That's why I said I wouldn't say anything to me back when I first got started. Now, if a lot of you out there, especially brand new people, if you didn't get started the same way I got started, then I would question your sanity because look what it did for me. Oh my gosh, like 25 years later, the lifestyle and the benefits and the, not only wealth, but it was just the beautiful friendships that we had and the friendships we had with Andy and Jane and the top leaders on our team, on not only our team, but the Alliance team that we've been great friends with, like Adam and Beth Katz and Fitz and Heather Fitzgerald and Stephen and Holly Davies, and of course Patrick and Suzanne and Mike and Noel Leventovich, and all the great leaders, Andy Riddle and Angela Manzo, who used to be in our organization, but Andy got smart and wanted to recruit, steal one of our top producers away. But that's okay. We're happy that they're happy. Okay. I no longer make that override on her, but there's no bitterness there at all. But, these are dear friends that we've developed over years and years of years, going through the fire together, right? We're, foxhole buddies that have gone through the fire together, and we look forward to just many more opportunities to share our lives, So, I mean, the business of building this business is, there are just so many benefits. But if you're brand new, dudettes, you have got to start building, please, and so we're going to teach you just very simple concepts for you to get started, to get moving towards building a team. And, we're going to help you overcome all the crap in your head for not wanting to do it. Because I believe you should want to do it. I mean, here's my premise, is that the question I have for you is, do you love your family? I mean, if the answer is yes, then I think you should build a business because you love your family, you care about your family, you want your family to have a lasting legacy of income. I think the Alliance is the best postured opportunity that you have on your hands right now that you could actually do that, right? Even beyond your own ability to produce income by making direct sales, your ability to produce a long-lasting legacy of income that keeps paying and paying and paying beyond your own capacity to work, to me, is like, that was a no-brainer for me, right? That's why I didn't hesitate. That part, I was down with that part. You know what I'm saying? So, again, hopefully at the end of this, you'll be motivated to start the process of showing this to your family and friends and people that you know and people that you run into and your clients that you sit across from. And then we'll show you the tremendous tools that the President's Club has, that Andy, through the President's Club, has provided you to be able to leverage the Alliance power to go out there and find people that you don't already know, right? Because the question is, do you know more people than you don't know? Okay, let me phrase again. Do you know more people than you don't know? And the answer should be no. Well, we're going to show you how to capture all those other people out there that are on their knees praying, like I was. I was on my knees praying before Andy called me. Lord, help me find something that I can have more time with my family, that I could make at least what I was making, but I just needed time and freedom with my family. And then 2 weeks later, Andy called me. So truly, it was answer to prayer, truly. And, you know, I thank God every night when I go to bed that he brought Andy and Jane in my life. And I would hope that the other people that I've helped with this business are doing the same thing, you know, that they're grateful, because I'm grateful, right? So let's go ahead and tackle the questions, because we're going to cover the questions of why recruit, how to recruit, what are you recruiting to. We're going to cover all these things, and hopefully we'll get done. You know, we've got about 4 hours of information to cram into 90 minutes. But anyways, let's get this party started. Okay, so I want to share this income model with you because I think it's something that could get you fired up. It can give you maybe a little bit of vision, but probably more than anything, give you a scope and scale to measure what you really can do with this business. So let's give you an overview of the alliance. And like I was telling Billy Javis before we got started, this is from a PowerPoint that was produced back in the day. I've updated some things, but it's in still 4:3 ratio mode. So it tells you how old this is. And this is all the stuff Andy Albright's taught me. He covered a lot of this stuff from the same source that we took it from at the National Boot Camp. But I'm going to cover, you know, really why recruit. So why recruit? Look, time and money, baby. Create lifestyle. Lifestyle is having the time to do what you want to do and the money to be able to do it with and for your families, right? The other way I look at this is insurance on your income. I look back to when Jenny was diagnosed with cancer in December 2018, and like, thank the Lord, hallelujah, that I had a big hierarchy that was producing override income so I could spend my time with her, to get her through chemo, right? To be there to support her, to be with her when she needed me the most. I didn't have to ask a boss off from a stupid job. I didn't have to, you know, make sales. I didn't have to be in the field. I could focus on Jeannie and what she was going through. And it was like a 2-year ordeal, right? Going through chemo. You know, she had the surgery to do a double mastectomy, you know, then chemo, then restructuring, you know, et cetera. Is that called restructuring? Whatever you call it, where they rebuild her back again. You know, $6 million woman, right? Now she's got bionic boobs, man, and it rocks. Just kidding. Oh, she's going to kill me. No one tell her I said that, okay? Anyway, insurance on your income. So I didn't have to like depend on me going out in the field, right? And you never know when that might happen to you. I went from owning my own job, my insurance sales job, to owning my own life is what happened, right? And here's my question for you. Are you just going to sell till you retire, or are you going to even be able to retire, right? Are you putting back money from your sales income, right, in a retirement plan? I don't know that most of you are. Some people are barely putting money away for taxes. Oh, Alex, you went there. Oh, yeah, I went there because some of y'all, you got to be putting some of that money away for taxes. You know, taxes, you know, the IRS. The IRS wants their money too. Okay, so that commission isn't all yours. You're making money for the IRS and the government as well, right? And I make sure when I sign a check for the IRS, I want my money to go to Kevlar vests for our military. I don't know if they do that, but I make sure they know who I'm writing the check out to and who I want it to go for. Anyway, look, I don't know why you want to recruit. I know why I did, and it got me exactly what I wanted and then some and more. The question is, you got to figure it out. But here's the deal. Even if you haven't figured it out yet, you will figure it out while you're recruiting. I promise you. Just start recruiting. Don't wait until you have this huge why, right? Why recruit? Because you'll make more money. How about that? Let me give you that one. How much money do you want to make? Alex, I want to make 6 figures. I want to make $8,000 a month. Awesome. Do you want to do it sooner than later? Yes. Well, why not build it where you're only doing 4,000 yourself and 4,000 is coming in the form of overrides? Would that be cool? Wow, that sounds cool, Alex. How do I do that? Well, we're going to get to that part, but let's go into the income model. Personal production, income projections. So let's start here, okay? Now, I am baselining this on one sale a week, one issue paid sale a week. Okay, the whole model, income model I'm going to show you is based on making one issue paid sale a week. So these are mega part-timers. These are people that only have 10 hours a week to put towards the alliance. Okay, so you make one sale per week, the average sale around $900 annual premium. So let's say you're at a 65% commission rate. So you're making $585 a week. $585 a week times 52 weeks, that's $30,420 annual income a year. Not bad for 10 hours a week, right? I mean, what else can you be doing for 10 hours a week? That's legal, okay, moral and ethical, okay, that you're doing for 10 hours a week, you're making 30 grand. I mean, this is better than Uber or Lyft or DoorDash, okay, in my opinion, my humble but accurate opinion. So if you're making one sale a week, $30,420. Now, if you make two sales a week, you double your production, you're going to get a higher contract. You'll make 70 grand, over 70 grand a year. If you do three sales a week, you're going to make almost six figures. You make four sales a week, you're at 108,000. So from the perspective of a salesperson, this is one of the coolest opportunities to make sales. So if you're going to own your own sales job, the insurance industry is where it's at and the alliance is where you should be, in my humble opinion. Okay, so can we all agree that the sales opportunity is incredible with the alliance? Part-time, full-time, whatever time, right? So that's the first building block, is if it makes sense from the most basic level of an agent going out there and making sales and protecting families, if it makes sense there, then guess what? It makes sense building a team. But let's look at that, okay? Agency builder income projections. So agency building is the key to development of the kind of income that goes beyond your own capacity to work. Just like I said, what you do is you break the trading hours for dollar cycle, because when you're selling, you're trading hours for dollars. No different than if you're working at a restaurant as a waiter, or if you're working, anywhere, you're trading hours for dollars. Well, you're really doing the same thing when you own your own sales and insurance sales job, right? Now, what we're talking about agency building is what any general agent does in the insurance industry. They train agents to make money in our business. Very simple, it's just the agency model. And look, let's start with a small agency, right? You may have visions of a large agency, but let's just start where you're at, man. You're the agency of one. So let's see if you can have other people join you to create more than an agency of one, right? So let's look at that. So you're doing one sale a week, and let's say you bring four other people that you know. It could be, Bob, Terry, Fred, and Alice, people you knew from school, people you knew from the soccer team that you played on, whatever. People that, this is warm market. We're not even talking about you going out there, gosh, out of all the people that you know, you're going to find four people. I promise you're going to find four people. And this is only four part-timers. And let's just say they only had 10 hours a week on a part-time basis, just like you, and they join part-time, right? And they make one sale a week. So in your agency, you're doing it, right? And now you're making $720 a week in income because you got promoted to the key leader 80% level because you got four agents doing one sale a week, right? So 4 times the 900 premium, that's 3,600 total premium, times 25% override. You're making $900 a week of income in overrides. So $720 a week on your own personal production times 52 weeks a year, that's $37,440. Guess what you just did? By finding four other people beyond you that only had 10 hours a week and could only do one issue paid sale a week, right? You're making $46,800 in overrides. So remember, you were making 30 grand before. Now you're even making more than that just by yourself. Now you're making more than that by finding four other people. So now your total income is $84,240. Do you see how quick you did that? From just beyond you making 30 grand, making one sale a week, you've got your team of 4 people doing one sale a week and you doing one sale a week. Now your income went to $84,240. Is that cool? But wait, there's more than key leader. Okay. Let's get you an agency manager. How do you do that? Well, if you can hire 4, you can hire 4 more. All right, 4 more. Now you got a total of 8 agents part-time, all doing 10 hours a week, making 1 issue paid sale a week. So then you got 8 part-timers. Now your total production outside of your production is 7,200 AP a week. Now you get promoted to the agency manager level at 85%. Now your override income's 30%. Let's just say they're all at 55%, right? So now you're making $2,160 a week in override income. Times 52 weeks, that's $112,000. And then you're, of course, doing one sale a week at a 85% commission rate. Now you're at $39,780. Your total income now is $152,100 annual income. And you're still doing 10 hours a week, but you found 8 other people to do 10 hours a week. 1 sale a week. But Alex, what if I want to do 2 sales a week? Then you totally screwed up the income model. You're going to make more money, unfortunately. So it screws up the model because you'll make more money. Anyway, I'm being sarcastic, okay? So let's move on. There are more levels than agency manager. Let's say you find more people, 16 part-timers. Look, if you can hire 1, you can hire 16. And you become a regional manager, you're at the 95% commission rate. So on your own personal production of 1 sale a week, you're making $855 a week. Now you got 16 part-timers, right? That's a total of $14,400 a week, because everyone's doing 1 sale a week. You've got a 40% override. Now you're at $57.60 a week of income. Now your total income is $44,000 personal production, and your overrides are now $299,000. So now you're making $343,980 of annual income, and no one's full time yet. Okay. Anyway, let's build it up more. So agency hierarchy building, so we got the sell and recruit. So those models I just showed you are based on selling and recruiting. Now let's talk about building. What is building? Building is finding people that want to do what you did. They want to build an agency and eventually a hierarchy. Okay, so hierarchy development is when you find other agency leaders within your own company that want to do what you did. And see, our franchise model in the alliance will allow you to create an income producing asset that will continue to pay you long term. Okay, so let's take a look at what that looks like. So let's say you found 4 leaders that want to become agency managers, and they're all part-time. Again, we're still 10 hours a week. We haven't asked anyone to really commit to full-time yet, right? But you can actually do it. So at the 100% commission rate level, now you're making $900 a week of income on your own personal sales, but you've got 4 agencies that did what you did as an agency manager, 4 part-timers. Again, everyone is doing 1 sale a week. Now your overrides are $43.20 a week, right? So you multiply both those incomes, your personal production and override income. Now by 52 weeks, now you're at $46,800 personal and $224,640 in overrides. Now you're at $271,440 in annual income on the hierarchy building process. And these agency managers, they're training their people. They've already taken over some leadership aspects of their business and agencies, all the kind of the grunt work, and you're making $224,000 overrides. That's rocking. Now, what if we get those 4 to go national manager? National manager. Those say AM, but those are all 4 national managers. Now you get to the junior board member level. Your agency is doing $302,000 a month of issue paid premium. You're at the 115 level. You've got national managers at the 100 level, right? 4 part-time. And again, everyone's part-time. Everyone's only doing 1 sale a week. Their whole model is based on 1 sale a week. Now you're making $53,820 in personal production income. You're making $589,680 in override income for a total of $643,500 in annual income. And again, everyone is part-time, 10 hours a week. Do you see the power of 1? what the power of one can do for you, and finding the power of multiples working in your organization, helping, you are helping them make money, and then they're helping you make money. It's a mutual benefit opportunity. So, all right. So why recruit? Because you can make a boatload of money, man, and you can free your life to do more of the things that will make you more money with your time instead of just selling. Like, look, I'm not against salespeople wanting to sell, but man, if you look at this opportunity that it affords you, that can give you, then you're rocking, my opinion, right? So let's go to the how now. Let's get down to the brass tacks for a brand new person. You just got started with us and you don't even know what you don't know, right? And you want to get started. You have a vision for wanting to create income with us. You saw this model somewhere, somehow, right? And you saw the opportunity to create income for yourself. But let's open your mind up, right? We just open your mind up to how you can leverage the aligned system in your upline to create an agency. Now, the only way to get started with that is if you want to make money sooner than later, then who do you know that you think might be a good prospect for us to have you join your team, right? And the only way that we can get those people to join you is to give us access to them. It's like, who do you know that we don't know, right? And these are everyone in your phone. Your phone is one of the most valuable tools. You will make money with your phone because of the address book that you have on your phone, right? Now, typically when we start asking people, hey, who do you know? People start getting a little bit protective, like, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready for you guys to, and it's like, dude, come on, man. This ain't no multi-level marketing scheme, right? This is financial services sales. And we aren't asking you, we're not asking you to disclose, national security secrets. Okay. These are just people that that we don't know. Right. And so here's some of the pushback that we get sometimes. Like I get this from people and it really cracks me up. Well, Alex, I just want to see if it works for me first. Okay. They actually sound like that too. I want to make sure it works for me first. So I hate to get into debate mode, but sometimes I just like showing how asinine that's. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. How that's a nonsensical statement that you just made. Well, I want to see if it works first for me. It's like, okay, dude, let me ask you a question. How did you even make the decision to join us? Like, tell me your thought process and how, you made the decision. Well, I went to a meeting or, my buddy talked to me and it just looks like it made sense. Okay. Well, I mean, what else did you see? Well, I was on a conference call and, I saw some leaderboards. Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you a question. If it makes sense to you, do you think it's going to make sense to people that you know? Right? Well, yeah. Okay. So why do you think that you have to be a gatekeeper to a tremendous opportunity that you think is a good opportunity for you? Why do you think you need to be the gatekeeper, right, for all the people that you know? Oh, I don't know. Well, let me ask you a question. Did you get 5 of your best friends to evaluate this before you joined? Did you ask them their permission for you to join us before you got started? No, I didn't. Okay. Well, see what I'm saying? Look, you didn't ask anybody. And what you're basically saying is that you're going to be the gatekeeper. Wouldn't it make sense for them to make their own decision? Now you have a great opportunity that you think is a great opportunity. Should they make it their decision? Right? And really what it comes down to, let me just get to cut to the chase. Basically, you just want to know if this business works, right? You're joining us and you want to make sure it works. Well, I mean, let me show you a leaderboard. Okay, I can show you a leaderboard of all these top producers. Do you think it's working for them? Yeah. Okay, so if it's working for them, do you think the business works? Well, yeah. Now, do you know that we're owned by Integrity Marketing, and they're a multi-billion-dollar distribution company, one of the largest in the world that distributes life insurance. And you know that Integrity Marketing, do you think it's working for them? Well, yeah. Okay, so can we stop with the does this business work? Okay. Now I'm not telling you to answer objections like that, but I want you to get into the proper mentality, especially if you have those objections, to overcome your own objections to turning over lists of names. Here's another one that we get. Well, I want to make sure that I can train my own people. I go, dude, seriously? You don't think we have training? Let me show you the ARC. Let me show you Alliance University. Let me introduce you to all these top producers that are all at all these hotspot meetings and all these boot camps and all our events that are teaching what they're doing to be successful. Thank God that all my agents in my hierarchy aren't going to me for training them on how to do all the stuff in the Alliance. See, because, remember the part that I didn't want to have a job running my agency? The reason why I don't have a job is because the Alliance has vast resources of training, right? And you don't have to do it. Like when I got in, I didn't have to train my people. They all knew I was brand new. And we all got trained together by people who knew what they were doing, right? So can we say that that's not really an excuse because you do not have to train your people? We are going to do it for you, okay? Here's another one that people say, well, Alex, I've been in 5 multi-level marketing deals and I talked to all my friends about it. And this is just going to be another one that they're going to think, oh my gosh, I went off the deep end again. And, it's like, dude, don't worry about that, man. I know what you mean. You joined the NFL. No family left, no friends left. You're never being invited to barbecues because they think you're going to hit everybody up with the next multi-level concept, Look, can I share with you how we approach people? If you're worried about your credibility, don't worry. Because the credibility is not you. The credibility is me. The credibility is the Alliance. The credibility is Andy Albright. You can leverage their credibility. Well, what do you mean? Look, you give me a list of all those people that you totally, they'll totally not talk to you anymore. They won't, your family won't invite you to Thanksgiving. Give me a list of all those people. And I'm going to call them up. I go, and I'll say, hey, Joe, this is Alex. Listen, your buddy, Fred, I recommend I give you a call. Listen, I partnered with a multi-millionaire guy named Andy Albright out in North Carolina. He owns a very large financial marketing firm. And I was talking about people in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he mentioned your name to me, that you're in Charlotte, North Carolina. He said you're pretty sharp. And right now we're trying to search for some people. We're looking for 2 or 3 people in the Charlotte, North Carolina area to partner with. And he mentioned your name, said that you were cool. Let me ask you a question, just a basic question. Are you open-minded and looking right now for, putting together some business on the side outside of what you do full-time? So, Fred, how's that sound? I'm not even using you as credibility. You said you lost all credibility. Well, what the heck would I want to use your credibility for? I'm going to use credibility of my multi-million-dollar, my billionaire friend, Andy Albright, and the behemoth of a company he built over the last 25 years. I'm not going to use your credibility, dude. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm not going to diss him that much, but, if you're listening to this, don't worry about the credibility thing. Here's the one that ultimately just cracks me up, and and I get it. I totally get it. Well, Alex, when it comes down to it, I'm just kind of afraid of what people will think of me getting involved in insurance. I'm going, seriously, dude? You're worried what people think about you? Can I just share this with you? I'm sorry to kind of pop your bubble, but your friends and family don't think about you near as much as you think they do. I promise you right now, this second, they are not thinking about you. Okay? I'm not going to say they don't care about you. They probably sort of care, right? They probably sort of care about you, but they are not thinking about you. Okay? Well, Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. When your friend switches from IBM to Microsoft, number one, does he ask your permission to do that? No. Number two, does he care what you think about him switching from IBM to Microsoft? No. Exactly. He could give a squat about what you think because he's doing what's best for himself and his family, right? You are doing what you think is best for you and your family. So you don't give a crap about what they think about you, right? And here's the thing. If something should happen to you, you can't pay your bills. Are your friends and family going to pay your bills for you? No. Well, then you should not even think about or care about what they're going to think about you. Does that make sense, Fred? Anyway, those are the 4 main ones. And I hope I just struck all those down for you so you can get your mind right about what you're really doing. Here's the thing, gang. If Andy didn't call me, where would I be right now? I'd be in maybe some cubicle farm, staring out the window, wondering, Lord, is there anything better than this? I'd be looking out the window going, look at all these people out there that are not working in an office. And here I am in this stupid cubicle farm, analyzing budgets, and I'm a prisoner, and I'm forever going to make $97,999 a year with 3 weeks vacation, being a slave to the man. You know what I mean? Look, we're giving you an opportunity to change your life like it changed my life. Because he asked me, and I said yes. And you got people on your list of names, I promise you, that are on their knees saying, please, Lord, send something my way. And you are going to be the answer to their prayer. All those people on your list. I promise you. I promise you. Here's this last story I'll leave you. So when I asked Noelle to join my company, she started selling, man. She was fierce. She just said, screw it. I'm going to do this thing, right? And so the first month in the business, in January 2000, she wrote about $10,000 of premium. And she showed up on the leaderboard. And she showed up on our agency leaderboard as W. Leventovich, because her first name is Winoka and Nyoka. And it starts with a W. W silent, apparently, in some ancient language. So Mike Leventovich gets a call, and he says, hey, man, you got a relative in the insurance business? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm part of an agency, and I saw a leaderboard for January, and it shows W. Leventovich at around $10,000. So I was wondering if you knew that person. He goes, well, as a matter of fact, it's Noelle. Silence on the line. Noelle? Yeah. When did she get into insurance? Well, she got in with Alex Abian, last year, end of last year. Because I knew this guy, right? Because you guys got in with Alex Abian? Yeah. And now John Miller, I don't mind saying his name. Thank God John didn't show them, because he got into the same agency in summertime the year before. And he wanted to wait until he was successful, till he could show the Leventoviches his results. And he found out that he got in the business because they were on the leaderboard. Gang, do you know how much overrides that he gave up because he decided to wait to share the business with Mike and Noelle? I mean, seriously, and he keeps going. It gets worse and worse story for him. But the Lord is watching out for me, because I asked them first before he even had a chance to. Who knows? He could have been thinking about, and John Miller was in their wedding. We're talking, he was tight with them. He was their former upline in the Amway business, right? Golly. And so that override mistake keeps growing every minute. Every minute that I get paid overrides on Leventovich's, glow bonuses, etc. and thank the Lord, right? Because I asked Noelle if she was interested in making some additional income. So don't let that be your story. Don't be a John Miller, right? Be an Alex Abian that's going out there talking to, be an Andy Albright talking to all his buddies, okay? So anyway, let's talk about how to build a list. I'm going to turn it over to my buddy, Patrick Connors. Patrick, let her rip.
Dude, I love that. And let's not forget how it impacted Noelle and Mike that you asked them, right? I mean, if you had done the John Miller move and not called them, how would their life be different? I can't even imagine. I mean, they have such a beautiful story and all the people they've impacted, all because you asked them. Like, when we're looking at that list of names and we're looking on our phones and we're like, should we call them or not? Like, if you found out that the gas station is giving gas away at 25 cents a gallon, are you going to be like, don't tell anybody. I'm going to go get this gas and I'm going to drive as fast as I can and use up all that gas. And then I'm going to go back and get another 10 gallons at 25 cents a gallon. I'm not telling anybody. If you're like that, you might not be Alliance material. But instead, think about them. Stop worrying about what, yourself. So I'm so grateful that Alex shared this with me because it changed my life. So thank you for not thinking, what are all those excuses that you went over? Thanks for not doing those before you called me. Okay, so Alex wanted to cover the how. So there's basically two ways. There's two groups of people you can reach out to, like Alex was mentioning, people you know or people you don't know. I'm going to cover the easy group. That's the smaller group, the people you know. And then Mary has the hard lifting. She does the people you don't know. So like, have you ever wondered, what should I say? I mean, if you heard Alex just now, when he went through one of the excuses, he told the hypothetical agent what he could say. But what if you didn't write that down? And what if you can't find this recording of Alex? What do you say? Do you remember the part where Alex said, don't worry, we're going to train your agents? Andy has thought all of this through. Did you know that in this book, The Millionaire Maker Manual, he's got a script. He's got a script for what to say to the people. Did you know that? Have you used that script? Here, I'm going to read it to you. It's an example. It's not, he doesn't say you have to use this, but he says, here's a simple script. It might go something like this. Bob, I have recently started working with Mutual of Omaha on a project, and it requires me to call people back about mortgage protection, final expense, retirement planning, different kinds of insurance. I'm looking for someone to help me out, Bob, to call people back and help me follow up with all these direct mail responses. Bob, do you know someone who would be interested in helping me out with this project and make some money? I mean, that's an example of one of the scripts you can use, and it's written down in the book, in The Millionaire Maker. I challenge you, whenever you're wondering how anything in the Alliance, how do I do this? How do I do that? Look in this book, The Millionaire Maker Manual by Andy Albright. It's in here. You're carrying it around with you. Everything you need. Okay. So Alex said, how do you get started? The first thing is just cheat. Just grab your phone, download an app. If you have an iPhone, download the app M as in Mary, C Backup. MC Backup. It's free. I'm sure they have in-app purchases, but we're not playing the advanced game. Just use this app to suck all of the contracts out of your phone and email it to yourself in one nice list. It's going to have names, phone numbers, email addresses. It's perfect, okay? That's the easy way. Let's say you don't have an iPhone. Let's say you have an Android. I think there's an app called Contacts to Excel. Contacts to Excel. Same thing. It's free. Download it. Get all your contacts. Okay, now that's the cheating list. And there are other lists that you might have. Like you might have a Christmas card list. You might have a roster of all the other parents on your daughter's soccer team. You might have other lists which are already in list form for you. So that's easy. But then there's other people who are not on your list. They might not be in your phone. Their kids might not play soccer with your kids. How do you find them? How do you find all those people? Have you ever heard somebody say, I just don't know anybody? Have you ever heard people say that before? Okay, I'm not calling them liars. I'm just saying they haven't thought that statement through, right? They know people. So how do you find them? Well, Andy, when he was putting this plan together, he thought we could just strap people down, strap their arms to a chair and inject them with truth serum and then ask them who they know. But instead, he said, let's make it a little bit more humane. And he, again, in the book, The Millionaire Maker Manual by Andy Albright, it's in the very first, I don't think he numbered these chapters, but the very first part of the book is called The Factory. If you grab the table of contents, it's called The Factory. The next section is duplication explanation. And he gives some examples of successful companies who duplicate. Then the next section is start right now. That's the section that talks about building a list of names. Like the first thing he talks about is not getting a license. It's start right now by building a list of names. And he shows you how to do it. So in my book, it's pages 54 to 58. He tells you how to pull all those names out of your head. They're in there, but how do you get them out, right? So he goes through lists of people that you can think about: friends, neighbors, relatives, church members, Christmas card list, wedding invitation list, classmates. Okay, then he gets even deeper. He's like, answer these questions. Who do I respect? Who shows genuine concern for other people? Who deals with the public? Firemen, postmen, policewoman. Like, he's got these questions that you ask yourself, and you'll be like, hark, I know somebody. And then you write it down. Then he has another section where he just says, who do you know? And this gets like the font in here, you can't see the book, I think, when my face is on the thing. I don't know. But the font in here is so teeny, and he just starts going like free association. He throws a word at you, you write a name down. So music teacher, mortician, race car driver, farmer, missionary, student, sheriff, secretary, plant foreman, surgeon, printer, mechanic. Guys, he's got hundreds for this game of free association. And then he does even other ones. Like, it's just amazing how much stuff is in this book. And if you want a list of names, there's no excuse now. Now that you've heard this and what Alex went over and what Andy gave us, you can't say, I don't know anybody. You just can't. Okay, so then you've got a list. You want to stop there for a second, Alex? You want to talk about filtering them?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about filtering. The one thing about free association and brainstorming anything is you never prejudge anything. Just write the name down that comes to mind. And I actually believe this, like, let the Holy Spirit be your guide. I always follow the nudgings of the Holy Spirit. And when a name pops in my head, sometimes names pop in your head because you should pray for them. Well, I think when you're building a list of names of people that need an opportunity like this, I think it's going to pop in your head, all these people. And look, your job is not to convince anyone to join us. Your job is really to ask a question, right? It's as simple as like asking someone, do you like ketchup with your hot dog or do you like mustard with your hot dog? Which one do you prefer, right? And if they say ketchup, oh, I got to go to therapy because I swear you were going to be a ketchup liker. But, oh my God, my self-image now went from a 1 to a 0.5. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Come on, man. It's just a question. Man, when I was dating girls, I would just find the one who would actually say, yes, I'd like to go out with you. I don't care who I was going to ask. Well, okay, there's a point where I didn't care. And I was just asking, man. I was just asking because I wanted to go on a date. Okay? My criteria has obviously leveled up because I convinced Ginny to marry me, which proves that I am a salesperson. But anyway, so don't prejudge. Just do the brainstorming thing, right? Okay, Patrick.
Yeah, and even if they say no, if they say they prefer mustard and not ketchup, you never know. Some people over the course of their lifetime are going to switch from ketchup to mustard. Like, for example, when Alex hired Noelle, Mike Leventovich wanted nothing to do with this. But He switched from ketchup to mustard. It didn't take that long either. So, that's why we don't want to burn bridges. We don't want to say, you don't want to do this? You're stupid. Don't, like, all we're doing is asking if they want to do this. Or actually, we're not even asking that. We're asking if they know somebody who would like to look at this. That's all we're asking. We're asking, do they know somebody who is interested in taking the mustard ketchup challenge? That's all we're asking.
It's the third party.
Come on, man. It's indirect. It's so light. Look, Alex told me this years ago, and I believe it. I believe it, that inside of every one of our phones, there are 8 people who would absolutely do this if they knew about it. Mike and Noel Leventovich did not do this because their name was in John Miller's phone and he never called them, so they didn't do it. It's not like they could have just spontaneously started doing the alliance. They need somebody to share it with them. But Alex did reach out. They were one of the names in his phone. If you've got 8 people in your phone right now at this second, who would do this if only they knew it was an option? Remember the slides that Alex showed at the beginning? 8 people doing this. You're making several $100,000 a year. Okay. So now you've got this list. You've probably got a list that's 300 or 400 or 500 long. Really, truly. So do you send all those people to Andy? You think he wants to call them all? You send them all to Alex? I mean, they've got other agents who are also sending them lists. This is what we recommend you do. You do it how you like, but this is what we recommend you do. Sort them. It's not a strict sort. What you're not trying to do is decide if they would do this or not. That's not the sorting at all. You don't know if they're going to do it or not. One of the most successful people I've ever met in my life, if not the most successful person I've ever met in my life, is Andy Albright. You know he had it going on before he was introduced to this. But only one person had the guts to ask him if he wanted to do this. So who do you know who meets certain criteria? Okay? You're not deciding if they want to do this or not. You're just sorting them. So Marcusetta uses the playing card, the deck of cards, and here's a 2, and here's a 5, and here's a jack, and here's a king. You can sort them like that. You can sort them by using a few simple questions. Are they married? Are they in the bell curve, meaning the age range where they have the higher odds of succeeding? Do they own a home? Do they have a job? Are they successful at something? Are they local to where you're looking to add people? So there are a couple questions you can ask like that. One of the best things to do, my opinion, is look at the Alliance Aiden and the Alliance Alice sheet that Andy put together for us. If you need to find that, just ask Clay Murtis. He runs President's Club. He has everything. And there are 12 questions, 6 right here and 6 right here. And they're simple questions that you can answer about them if you know them. And if you've got somebody who has 1 yes or 2 yeses to those questions, great. But if you've got someone who has 8 or 10 or 11 yes answers to those 12 questions, I would put them in your top 25 list. And once you've got your top 25 list, you shoot that one to Alex, you shoot that one to Noel Leventovich, you shoot that over to Katz or Fitz or Riddle or Terry Edwards, next thing you know, you're going to have more people on your team. Why? Are you saying, Patrick, that the people who are more of an ace or a jack or a queen, they're more likely to say yes when we share this with them than the 2s and the 3s? Yeah, they are. So that's why we want to sort them. Please don't use this as an excuse to delay calling people for the next 12 months. Well, I'm not exactly sure if this is a 7.5 or an 8, this person here. That's not the purpose of this. Once you have your list, you can just start calling them. And we can talk about script in a second. But if you want to have the fastest growth, pull out 10, 15, 25 of your top people, shoot them to your upline and say, what do I do now? Alex, before I go into script or the next thing, you want to talk about that?
No, keep rocking, dude. Keep rocking.
And let's just finish because I know you got to get to Mary. There are 3 categories of scripts. If you're making the calls yourself, there are basically 3 categories of scripts. You can make one up yourself. Okay, that's a great category. And I'm not being sarcastic. Like you know your person. If they're like your Super Bowl buddy, we call a Super Bowl buddy is somebody that you can say, hey, you watching the Super Bowl this weekend? Yeah. Why don't you do it at my house? Come on over. You don't have to give any explanation or details. You know why they're coming? Because you're going to be there. I would have been on Alex's Super Bowl list. He might not consider inviting me to the Super Bowl, but what I mean is if he did call me, I was going to his Super Bowl party. So all he had to do was say, Patrick, you want to make some money? And I said, yes. I've even done that with Cold Market before. I've had somebody respond to a ZipRecruiter ad, and the ad said, this is insurance. And I called them up, and I was behind on my appointments, on my interviews. I didn't have time to get into, what's his life like and bond and rapport. I was like 10 interviews behind. I'm like, I'm just going to catch up real fast. So he picks up the phone and says, hello. I said, Greg. He said, yeah. I said, this is Patrick. You want to make some money? That was my whole script. He said yes, and I've got I make somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000 a month from the people that Greg led me to. So you can use any script that works, but I would recommend using one of two scripts, and those two scripts are the one that you find in the Millionaire's Maker Manual as an example, or the 4 things. I'll bet you've heard of this before if you've been around for a few weeks, right? The 4 things. This is insurance. We're headquartered in North Carolina. We have leads, and we need help. And you can explain each of those, more than 3 words. You could use a whole sentence, but I wouldn't go much more than a sentence on each one. This is insurance. We're headquartered in North Carolina. We have leads, and we need help. So that's how you get started. And then we didn't talk about what the upline would do when they get the list. But that's how you start in warm market. And I would just say one more thing. The Alex Abuyuan organization, massive, huge, and growing organization. The Fitz organization, huge, giant, massive. Tons of people in these organizations. The Cats organization, huge, thriving, giant organization. The Riddle organization, just think of all the warriors and leaders in that organization. The Bel Air organization, huge, giant organization. Every one of these organizations, Andy found this way from a list of names. Best I can tell, there's only 1, maybe 2 people who have ever reached the highest heights in the alliance who Andy did not meet from a list of names. Stephen Davies, I hate to call him out as an exception because then he's going to be like, see, I told you I'm exceptional. But the other one, I think, is Marcus Richardson. I'm not sure if Marcus Richardson came from Warm Market. I don't know, but I think he answered that. Anyway, if you don't want a Katz or an Abuyuan or a Fitz or a Riddle or a Bel Air in your team, then don't call the people in your list of names. There you go, Alex.
All right, man. Great job on the list. As far as approaches, one thing that I focused on when I was building my and I still do, building my organization, is being a good inviter, right? Because being a good inviter just totally takes all the pressure off me because I don't got to be a convincer. Like I never wanted to be a convincer because, as you know, when you start getting in convince mode, you never really convince anyone because a man or woman convinced against their will is of the same as opinion still. I'm in the attraction mode, and it's not attraction to me. It's attracting to the alliance and what it provides and what it can do for people, right? If you listen to any good witness or testimony, they're always talking about what something did for them. It's like, man, this is what happened in my spiritual life when I joined the Curcio movement, or when I joined Walk to Emmaus. This is what it did for me. And then you talk about what it did for you, and then it's like, wow. It's funny what people do is when you tell a story, they put themselves in your story, right? Like Jake and Varay's story. I was putting myself in Jake's shoes, and it was like I was feeling every emotion, that he was feeling because I put myself in Jake's shoes. I'm sure the women in the audience were putting themselves in Varay's shoes. Well, that's what happens when you tell a story. The people put themselves in your shoes, and then they get to experience what you felt and how the business really worked for you. To me, it's a power of this interpersonal relationships when you can tell your story or tell a story. It even doesn't have to be your story. You can talk about someone else's story. But I just always wanted to be a great inviter to things, right? All you have to do is be a great inviter. So let's say that Mike Leventovich is doing a hotspot meeting in Louisville, and you're brand new, and you have a Super Bowl buddy, right? That you think highly of, you think you respect them, they've got integrity, you think they might be a really good fit for us. You just call your buddy and say, hey man, listen, I got a friend of mine owns a very large financial services firm, and he's looking for some really sharp people. And dude, I thought about you right away. He's doing a meeting at 7:00, and I'm just checking to see if you're open-minded to, business and creating some additional income outside of your full-time job. And what can he say? What would he say? He could say, well, as a matter of fact, man, absolutely. Okay. Or he could say, nah, I'm good. Okay. You found out what you needed to find out because you just invited him. He decided to go, or he decided not to go. Or you could say, well, can you tell me more about it? Man, I wish I could. I mean, there's a lot to it. And I don't think I'd give you a fair chance by explaining it to you because I'm very limited in my experience right now. But Mike's been in the business 20 plus years. He makes over $1 million a year in income, has a huge team all over the country. I think you probably best served it. Only if you're interested. Look, if you're looking to make some additional income, then you should come. But if you're not looking to make any additional income, then you probably shouldn't go. Right? Alex, gang, that's a real question. It's not a takeaway. Everyone thinks, oh, that's a great takeaway, Alex. No, dude. You don't want to invite someone to something they don't want to go to. Like, it's trying to sell someone something they don't want to buy, right? I want to find people that are ready to run with me. Because, man, you know how hard it is to push a rope? I'm not looking for people I need to push the rope on. I want to run with the people that want to run, right? This is all a filter process, so I just get good at inviting, okay? And then if I'm inviting people for you, it's like I said, it's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex. I'm your friend of Fred's, right? You know Fred? Yeah, I know Fred. Hey, listen, he said you're really sharp, and I'm partnered with a multi-million-dollar buddy of mine who owns a financial firm in North Carolina, and we're looking for some people in Louisville, Kentucky right now. And he said that you're pretty sharp. Let me ask you just a basic question. You don't know me, but are you open-minded to creating some additional income outside of what you're doing full-time? That's it. He says, yes, I am. All right, cool. Well, look, I think I can get you into this meeting. We're putting a special meeting, special invite meeting in Louisville, 7:00 on Thursday. And I've got to confirm that I can get you in. It's a special invite only. We only have limited seats, and we're only going to get a few people started. So I promise what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you back at the end of the day today, and I'll let you know if we can make a seat available. But let me ask you a question in advance. This Thursday at 7:00, would you be free if I made a seat available to that meeting? He goes, well, hold on. Yeah, I can make it. Okay. You can make it, or you think you can make it? No, I can make it. Okay. Just want to make sure, right? So let me get back with you. And then you call them back later that day. This is how you lock someone in. This is called the mega tie down, especially with someone really sharp, because they think you're inviting everyone that you know, and you want them to feel like, I'm not inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting you because your friend said you were sharp. And so I call them back and say, hey, listen, it looks like I can get you in. Now, let me ask a question. You will be there at 7:00? Yeah, I'll be there. Okay. I just want to make sure because I'm going to tell Mike that you're coming, and I don't want to lose credibility with him if I tell him that you're coming and you don't show up. So you're good with that. You're going to be able to make it? Yeah, I can make it. Now, are you married? Do you have a significant other? Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I am married. Okay, great. Is there a possibility to bring your wife as well? Because I'm sure that if you see something that you like, you're going to have to re-explain it to her, and that's just impossible, right? So would there be a chance of her coming with you? Yeah, she can make it. Okay. She can, for sure? Yeah, she can make it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, here, I'll send you the details, and let me know if anything changes. Thanks. There you go. So you got to you got an opportunity to really leverage and tie down, because who likes no-shows? It's like, seriously, gang, recruiting is no different than sales. What cracks me up is that sales is so translatable to recruiting. You have no idea. That's why all you top salespeople, you should be our top recruiters too, honestly, because you can translate those same skills, like tying it down, right? And you're serious because, look, it's not fake. It's like, I want to know if you're accountable. Because if you're not accountable, not a cannibal, I don't want to know if you eat people. I just want to know if you are accountable, that you're going to show up. And look, if I invite you and you don't show up, that's all I needed to know. Okay? It's all I needed to know. Right? So those are just some approaches that your upline can take with people that are sharp. And I call them chicken list, right, gang? Here's what I think. The most important people on your list are the people you're afraid of. In other words, we call them chicken list people that are mega sharp, that check off all the boxes of Alliance Alice and Alliance Aiden, and you are just scared to talk to them. Awesome. I want to talk to those people. You give them to me, and I will talk to them to see if they're open. Again, I'm not going to put some kind of slick sales thing on them. I'm just going to invite them the way I invite them, right? And they say whatever they're going to say. But I want to make sure that you understand that those are the people that I want to talk to. And in your list of names, you probably got 25 chicken list people that you should give to your upline. Give to me. Give to Andy Albright. Give to someone, right? They're mega sharp. And you know what? They'll probably relate to them in a way that that you can't relate to them. And that's even better because you got someone with credibility that will be able to do it. Okay.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Those sharp people, they look sharp. They smell good. They look good. Everything's going on. But Andy says inside, many of them are living lives of quiet desperation. They don't wear a sandwich sign walking around town saying, I'm desperate. But inside, they are. And Marcus Richardson just texted, he came off a warm market list. So we're back down to Stephen Davis is the exceptional guy. Great. Who came from the cold market.
Absolutely. Wow. If you're brand new, let us help you. Let us help you make money. And I promise you, you've got 8 figures of override income right here on your phone. All you have to do is access them and let us access them because we are going to help you turn this into money, into long-term money, into freedom, into lifestyle, right? And you're going to make an impact on these people's lives because they're on their knees praying for an opportunity. All right, gang? So appreciate y'all. Patrick, you got anything to add? Hey, Patrick, why don't you come on and give us your last final thoughts.
What he said. And great job, Mary. Very inspiring.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Mary. Appreciate you, Patrick. Gang, this thing is off the hook. You got to get started. You got to get your upline. So here's my homework assignment for you. Take your top 25 chicken list people, get their names and numbers to your upline ASAP, right? And all you in the upline, you know who your future leaders are going to be because these are the ones that don't have an ego, that want this business badly. And if they send you those names, you know that they're worthy of your time to invest in them and helping them grow their organizations. Okay. So there you go. I hope I helped y'all. God bless, man. Thanks, everybody. Let's rock and roll.